This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.
Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Здравствуйте. Welcome to What's on Tap podcast.
Wow, I was going to say stop, collaborate, and listen.
Ice is back with a brand new edition. All right, so I went Russian. Only because we have something very interesting today.
Yes.
We have two collaboration beers, neither of which are Russian. So
so you're just racist, I'm on point.
I'm just throwing culture out to people so that they can understand different languages.
Nice.
And welcomes.
Welcome to What's on Tap podcast.
And we hope you enjoy the moment you spend with us, because theirs is special to us as they are to you. It's our time together. Talk about beer and knitting and pottery and other fine things.
Is this our neighborhood where we invite people in our sweaters?
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to our neighborhood. Today I hope that you're very happy to be here in our neighborhood.
Because we're very happy.
We're going to paint very happy trees and talk about beers and life.
Yes.
But first, we'll begin with a collaboration beer, because we're all about friendship today. We're all about teamwork. We're all about building bridges and bringing cultures together.
So, leaving the you're great, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers is one of those people that I am so happy there's been no sexual abuse scandals around him.
Oh, did you see the documentary on Mr. Rogers?
No.
It's freaking awesome. You need to watch it. You will cry like a little baby.
I can imagine.
It is so good, because he is like legitimately
he's one of the best people.
The best person ever.
And I'm not even, I didn't grow up with him, because I grew up in Sweden where Mr. Rogers didn't exist. I've only experienced Mr. Rogers afterwards.
Right.
And he seems just the best person ever. So, it's collaboration time.
It is. But so that's what makes this thing. It's friends getting together. It's brewing beers. Yes. It's sharing knowledge. It's crossing platforms. And today we have something from a Romanian brewery and a Serbian brewery.
It's so much fun.
And I will say, this is the first on both of those fronts to have something for Romania. I don't know if I've ever had a Romanian beer. I don't know a single Romanian brewery.
Nope.
And I've certainly never had anything from a Serbian brewery. 100% on that one.
I think I have.
Well, good for you. So this is Hop Hooligans and Dogma Brewing, and they've combined their, I have to read the can. Small talk can be dangerous sometimes. You never know what can end up lost in translation, and that's how people meet the wrong end of a skewer. Fortunately, that wasn't the case with our friends from Dogma. We stopped after just a few punches and actually brewed something together. And what they brewed is a double dry hopped Double IPA.
Oh.
Small Talk Big Brew, coming in at
100%.
100% ABV. No,
like 8.
Is it?
I haven't tasted it.
I don't see it.
I'm guessing 8.
I legit do not see the ABV on this can. But anyway, this is like
8 alc 8. I was
it's right at the top. So 8% right at the top. Very, very easily
identifiable.
Yeah, and this beer is like
so thick.
It's so thick. It is ridiculous. This might be the thickest IPA I have ever seen in my entire life.
It's like multivitamin juice visually.
Right. Like if someone told me this is a milkshake IPA, I'd be like, yeah, it certainly is. I almost feel like if you compare the two beers we're having today, this one actually feels heavier. And maybe that's just like a visual incentive to make me think that. But
it smells very fruity with hints of vanilla.
Yeah, and very hoppy. I mean, it's got this great citrus, fruity nose to it with like you said, there's a slight vanilla tinge to it. I don't know if there was lactose in this, but it would not surprise me if there was. Nope, just malt, hops, and yeast.
No water.
Extra pale oats, flaked and malted wheat, Citra BBC, Nelson Sauvin, and the yeast is London L3.
So actually no water. It's just the sweat
Nope.
of the proletariat.
Nope.
Nice.
Yep. So I'm looking forward. I'm super excited about this.
Cheers. Oh, that's thick and rich.
That is every.
This is amazing.
New England IPA you've ever dreamt of. The up notes are the up front is very sweet, very like lightly citrused.
Yeah.
And then the final notes are rich and bitter, and you get the IPA. It doesn't shy away from the IPA bitterness.
Wow. This is really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
If you had given this to me blind, I would have guessed Cloudwater or Other Half or Verdant or one of many world-class breweries that I respect the hell out of.
Yeah. No, I would put this easily on a Wylam's Cloudwater level. Yeah, for sure. Because it is really just hidden like all of those New England IPA notes, but yet has this lightness and freshness to it. It's not heavy, it's not syrupy, it's not gooey. It's just
Did you get
clean.
Did you get this like super fresh or something?
I have no idea. I found it I was on Beer Dome, and I was just like trying to fill out the box, and this came in at a 4.09 or whatever, and I'm like, you know what, that sounds great. And the price was only like 50 crowns at most.
Wow.
And I was like, that's even better. I mean, a very high ranked beer and Untapped at a super great price. Like, I'll definitely hook up with that. But it's only 330 milliliters, so it's not a huge can. But man, it packs a lot of flavor.
Best before 2020. So best before 15th of January 2020. That's not far in the future. I would guess that they have a 6-month best before.
Yeah, I would guess that as well. So this is probably around 3 months old then.
That's so old. I can't.
It's not that old. It honestly, IPAs should be able to last out a 3-month shelf life.
I've recently had some like 3-week super fresh IPAs from these hype breweries like Other Half and stuff. This is holding its own.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
This has all of the fruits, all of the thickness and richness. It coats the mouth with all of the
And the more you drink, the more you want to drink, because it's not really heavy. You don't get the 8% ABV. The finish is like, at first it's a little bitter, but the more you drink, it becomes a little bit sweeter.
Yeah. And
a little more fun, a little more playful. I mean, this beer just really gives as you're drinking it. Wow. I quite honestly did not have high expectations. Even though it has a 4.09 on Untapped, I still did not have high expectations for this beer. I didn't really know what to think of it. But man, this is really exciting.
Yeah. This is where my rating is going to be a weird one here, because I think I have a flavor rating, but I'm going to increase it by 0.25 just because I'm so surprised.
Well, I'm probably going to be right there with you.
So this is probably a 4.5, but I'm giving it a 4.75.
Oh wow, you are really bumping it.
I'm bumping it.
I'm just gonna go with 4.25, so I'm still underneath you. But what I'm most excited about is I've just discovered 2 new breweries I have never heard of before buying this beer that I am definitely going to be on the lookout for, and I'm going to be trying to find more of their beers, and I'm really hoping that individually they're just as strong as when they collaborate together. Because as we've seen in the past, sometimes
collaborations are worse than the individual brewers.
Are not always like the best outcome of two great breweries. Do not always produce the best beer together. Exactly.
I'm going to challenge you now.
Yes.
What would you want more in this beer?
Oh, you come back to my question whenever I feel like someone's underrated.
That's what you always ask me.
You do, and that's a very fair question. Let me take it one more time.
So you're allowed to ask me this question 49 times, and the 50th time I ask it to you.
The problem is...
Because you can't think of a single thing you would want to improve.
I think if it was a little bit... God, it's like splitting hairs.
This beer
is really, really...
We are really in hair-splitting territory.
And when you get into this rarefied category, I think there's between like a 3 and a 4. There's a lot of latitude there.
Yeah.
When you start getting into between like 4 and 5, the closer you get to 5, the thinner you start slicing those. Like,
I agree.
Like, what do you have to get there to get there?
I agree.
And while
I just need one argument.
Yeah. God, one second.
Because what I'm hearing is a 4.5 from you. If you can't even think of a single fault.
No, okay. So
yeah. No,
I wish the mouthfeel was just a slightly bit richer. It's a little thin on that part. And if it had been a little more rounded in some of its notes, I think I would easily give this a 4.75. And that's really the difference is, even though this beer is probably 3 months old, the hops are still kind of raw. I think that there is an edge to it that could be rounded a little bit more. And therefore, the unctuousness, the umami kind of ness that you get from the New England IPAs is slightly lacking there. But I mean, this is an outstanding beer. And maybe this might just be an issue of time on can. 2 more weeks, this beer could be a 5. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it needs more time in the can.
I think this beer is extraordinary.
I do accept your arguments, and that's why it's not a 5 from me.
Yeah.
But for a note for the listeners, when he says thin, this beer is by no means thin, but it's not as thick as the thickest double IPA you've ever had. So it's thin compared to the highest end. This is a thick beer.
It is a thick beer. You're right. And I guess what I'm saying is just, thick isn't really the word that I'm looking for here. It's more of an overall roundness of the notes of the beer. You know what I'm saying? Like, the hops are still really, there's just a little bit of a raw edge to them that I wish was a little more tempered. And I think this is where it comes down to like personal taste.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I enjoy my hops a little bit raw. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm so surprised that it's 3 months old, because rawness of the hops that I do enjoy is usually at the 3-4 week mark. That's when they're like, woof, they're just raging across my taste buds.
Yeah, I wish this had a brewed on date, because I just feel like the hops are so fresh and they're just so upfront that, like, even at 3 months out, that's impossible almost. The oils and everything would dissipate enough that you would get more. But this is still
they could have like a 4 month best before date.
This has a really raw, upfront freshness to it that I think is outstanding. And I just got the hop burp, and it was just like, all right. Yeah, this beer is really raw on the hops. It's so good though.
Regardless of ratings, I think every listener is now realizing that this one has thrown us for a loop.
Yeah, it's a great beer. All right, so let's embrace it. Hop Hooligans and Dogma Brewing,
seek them out.
Romania and Serbia. They sound like they're doing really great stuff. I'm very excited about what they're doing. I look forward to hearing more about them in the future. Definitely on my radar. If I see more stuff from them, I will try to pick them up.
Yes.
So much so that I might even look at Romanian and Serbian beer sites to see if there's anything that they're producing. Because every once in a while you come across these brewers like Crack Brewing out of Italy. I mean, they're doing some really extraordinary, interesting things, but you're just not getting them in the regular beer market. So sometimes you gotta go outside your comfort zones and try some beer sites that maybe you wouldn't ordinarily stray into.
Agreed.
Are you tired of film podcasts where the hosts exist in a constant blissful state of agreement?
I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
Well, you're in luck. Let me introduce you to Chinstroker and Punter. One is an ex-film student with a penchant for David Lynch and art cinema. The other is a man on the street. Listen in perplexed and horrified terror as we tear apart one film a week.
It just really
It's not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just that's the third time though. I mean, is this on?
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com. So come and share the victory.
If you could fuck any man in film, who would it be and why?
My answer is Lance Henriksen.
Oh!
He wouldn't tell. He looks like somebody. He looks like somebody who can keep a secret.
Have you ever wondered what so-called family films will scar your kids forever? Putting 4 and 5-year-olds in front of this movie, it's like, if they didn't know what death was before this, they're going to know it after it.
They're going to know it after it, and they're going to be freaking terrified.
And they're going to be questioning you.
Yeah.
Or do you have the slight suspicion that your loved one has a cold, dead heart?
Yeah, The Dark Knight has got all the orphans, and oh no, we're going to die. They did not build up those orphans at all. In my head, it's like, kill them.
Then look no further. The His Film Her Movie podcast is the show for you. It's the movie podcast that celebrates the contrasting cinematic tastes of its hosts. So join Jordan and Lauren every week on their unique journey through the land of the silver screen. So if you're looking for a few laughs, some fun film-related chat, then get involved. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
So, next up is another collaboration between
Sweden and Sweden.
OO Brewing, which has become like it's a spin-off from Stubbergets. So, one of the brewers from Stubbergets, and then another guy, which I don't know where he came from.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, they both have the name O in their either first name or last name. I don't really remember. They've created a new brewery. So, like, if you were a real fan of Stubbergets like 3 years ago, OO Brewing is where those people went to.
Yes.
In the meantime, and then Remmarlov, who is a Skåne traditionalist brewery. They do very by the books, very familiar styles. They do them in a very traditional, upfront way.
They're very close to the hearts of What's on Tap podcast.
They are. Well, What's on Tap podcaster in particular. I
have a tiny anecdote. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Hampus Olofsson, who's the head brewer at Remmarlöv, he used to be a brewer at the Malmö Tap Room, and before that he was just a home brewer, a prolific home brewer.
Yeah.
A friend of mine actually subletted, rented in some way, got Hampus' old apartment. Mm-hmm. And Hampus hadn't cleaned out all of his homebrew beers from his cellar.
Oh, wow.
So my friend was like, hey, man, what do I do about these? And Hampus is like, those. Oh, just drink them. So my friend drank 60 liters or more, hundreds of bottles of amazing homebrew. And he didn't save any of them.
That bastard.
Oh.
So... we've talked about Remmarlov quite a bit in the past few episodes, but this is a really, really fresh release from them, and I am super excited. So I tried this at Brewski. You missed it at Brewski.
I missed it.
Somehow, where you tick everything, and somehow you missed this one.
Oh, but it was just such a crazy gauntlet.
It is. There is a lot of stuff to go through. So this just came out at Systembolaget, and so let's dig into it. It's
beautiful amber reddish color.
Yeah. The smell has this sweet,
caramelly lager.
Yeah, almost like a Belgian rock candy smell to it.
I feel that with many Dobbelbocks.
Yeah, and it comes in at a impressive 11%, 11.5%.
Woof.
This is not a small beer.
Woof.
Yeah, so I bought a couple of bottles of this. I'm looking forward to aging them out over time because I really want to know how this beer is going to mature. But cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. For me, this hits. It's a little on the warm side. It could be a little bit cooler, but you're getting this kind of rock candy, Belgian-y flavor.
It's definitely a combination of German lager and Belgian yeast sugar flavors.
Yeah,
I like it.
How do you feel about it? So that's a paradigm you're willing to work within.
I feel like the Dobbelbocks have always dabbled in flavors that are outside of lager.
Mm-hmm.
Before we recorded this episode, I told Stefan that Dobbelbock is my favorite lager style, apart from maybe Ice Bock. Then we're getting into weird territories.
Yeah, Ice Bocks are hitting 20%. That's not even a thing.
They're leaving a beer behind. They're still beer, but yeah. Dobbelbocks are... So there's one, I can't remember the name now, but you would always get a small white plastic goat or something.
Eierbach. Yeah. No, it's Celebrator.
Celebrator, yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember the brewery now, but those were such a classic for so long. I used to buy them.
You can still get them. I mean,
yeah, but I feel like they're not as good now as when I started buying them. I bought them every year. At one point, I even saved these small little plastic because they could be used as bottle openers.
Oh, okay, that's really cool.
They had 2 plastic twigs sticking out, so you could actually open the bottle with the plastic thing.
That's just smart. That's just smart marketing right there.
Yes. Those were great. So Dobbelbocks have always had a big place in my heart.
And again, the ingredients are water, corn malt, hops, and yeast.
Mm-hmm.
So very simple. Reinhardt level of brewing. But I just really enjoy this beer.
Yeah, it's very caramelly.
What I like about it is it's 11.5%, but man, it is not punching you in the face.
No, I agree.
It is not a... I mean, this could very easily have veered into oh my god, so much alcohol! But
yeah, they've managed to really mellow out the alcohol flavors.
Yeah, but I think the balance and the drinkability of it is a real credit to the fact that it's 11.5%. Because you don't get that. It's very, very easy to drink. But I feel like you're having a huge butt coming out.
I'm not going to give it a bad rating.
No, I'm saying you would, but I want your honest opinion of this.
My butt is amazing. No,
well, I didn't want to brag, but it is.
It's too yeasty.
You think so?
What I'm feeling more than anything is yeast. It's like the unfermented yeast cube.
Okay.
In Sweden we have kronjäst. It's a yellow package. The way that smells is the way this tastes.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, because this is a smooth, sweet 11% Dobbelbock. This could have been a barley wine.
Honestly, it really could. I'm not really sure why it's not a barley wine.
If it hadn't had so much yeast in the flavor.
Yeah.
It's like unfermented yeast in the flavor almost. So I'm going to give this a 4.
Wow. I have to admit...
You expected much lower.
I did. I was expecting like 3.5, 3.25.
But with an 11% sweet barley wine-like flavor, I'm usually at a 4.5.
You know what? I think a 4 is really where this beer belongs. Because I'm also at a 4.
Okay.
But for different reasons. Because
if it didn't have the yeastiness, it would be a 4.5.
Yeah.
This is hitting all of the notes. But then, right now when I'm talking, all I'm feeling is yeast. That's the aftertaste.
No, I completely get that. There is a weird, slightly off flavor to it. And until you said yeast, I couldn't quite place it. But when I tried this at Brewskival, I was just like, holy crap, this is so good. I can't believe how good this Dobbelbock is. And it was like, 11.5%. Whew, that's even more amazing because I don't get any alcohol burn off this. I just get sweet, caramel, unctuous, delicious aromas that just keep me like sipping a little bit more. So I was really, really excited about this beer. And so I'm right there with you. I think a 4 on this beer is where it belongs. I know when you go on Untappd and you look, it's gotten less than that. And I can understand where people might not like it or might not appreciate it. I completely understand that. But I think that, if you come with open mind and you're really looking at the beer, I think you're going to find that it gives a lot in ways that you don't expect. And between these two breweries, which are just doing amazing stuff right now, this is a wonderful collaboration. I hope that they do something else in a very unexpected way because neither brewery is known for a Dobbelbock. No. Certainly not Remmarlov.
Remmarlov dabbles much more in lagers than OO does.
Yeah, you just like if you're into like Remmarlov, I would think like lagers or red ales or like really neutral IPAs, and OO is going to be just like big IPAs and like hazy IPAs, and neither one is known for doing like a Dobbelbock. So I think this has been one of those rare collaborations or it's like 2 rare collaborations today, where they've just done extraordinary things and really elevated what can be done in a collaboration.
This I'm trying to put my finger on a taste. It might be cabbage, which is bad, but I'm not changing my rating. But
then cabbage on this one.
Yes.
That's weird because I think for me, cabbage usually comes with a hops off. So I would say if you're eating cabbage, you get more from the Hop Hooligans and Dogma beer, which I could definitely.
I think I'm not putting.
The hops in this thing is just blowing my mind.
It's so good. The Hop Hooligans Dogma.
Yeah.
You need to increase it to 4.5, man.
I do, man.
You're wrong with the 4.25 is just wrong.
There's so much
it's getting better.
This. Yeah. All right. So Small Talk Big Brew. If you can find a can, Beer Dome still has them. Probably. Definitely check it out.
Buy everything from both these breweries. But for sure, hit up Remmarlöv and OO because they're good. They're solid, established.
So Small Talk Big Brew is available on Beer Dome. Remmarlov OO Brewing's collaboration Dobbelbock is available at Systembolaget. They're not going to sell out probably because this is not a super popular, super hype beer style. No. And most people are probably scared off by the 11.5%, which is very understandable, but oh man, it's so good. So check us out online at whatsuntappedpodcast.com. You can find us at Instagram, Facebook,
Spotify,
YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere you can find fine podcasts online. Until next time,
keep drinking your
This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.